Hey, what's up, guys? It's Sports Blitz here, and we're back with our very first mock draft for the 2025 off season. Earlier during the season, I did kind of just a quick one for just the Panthers, because I'm a big Panthers fan, as most of you guys know. But I haven't done one for all 32 NFL teams yet. Just a quick disclaimer: I'm not claiming to be a draft expert. There's gonna be stuff you disagree with. And for the record here, I'm not gonna be responding to all of the negative comments. So, if there's anything you disagree with, odds are, if you have something to say, I'm not gonna respond to it. So, but otherwise, let's go ahead and get on into it. I'm gonna go ahead and do 2 rounds today. I'm probably gonna go more so based on. I'm gonna try to look at teams' needs, but I'm also gonna listen a lot more to best player available sort of thing too. So, kind of combination of both. For me, in my opinion, for the Titans here, I think they should take a quarterback. I do, but I'm gonna be honest. I don't really think Shador Sanders is the best quarterback in this class. I think Cam Ward is. So I'm going to have them take Cam Ward out of Miami. Then we have the Browns. Honestly, given the Deshaun Watson situation and really just how bad he is in general, I think the Browns should definitely be after a quarterback. So I'm going to go ahead and have them take Shador Sanders, which this really puts the Giants in a tough spot because, look, you don't want to be taking really any of these other quarterbacks number 3 overall. So you kind of consider, do the Giants trade back? If so, who's going to be trying to trade up? I'm going to be doing today's picks based on like not actually making any trades. So I'm going to go ahead and have the Giants here take Travis Hunter. I think I think whoever drafts Travis Hunter is going to end up drafting him as a corner who can also go in and play receiver, maybe 10 to 12 snaps per game. Maybe put him in on key third downs, that sort of thing. I think he's going to be a much better corner than he is receiver. And honestly, like, if the Giants didn't need receiver help and just wanted to get a corner, I would honestly have Will Johnson above Travis Hunter. That's just kind of my take on it. But here we have the Patriots. I'm going to go ahead and get Drake May, a really, really good quality receiver here in Tet McMillan. I think he's the best receiver in this class. Not going to argue with anyone on that. I think he's better than Luther Burden. So then we have the Jags on the board here. And I'm going to go ahead and actually have them take Abdul Carter. As a Panthers fan, this kind of hurts my soul because I really want Abdul Carter. But I think pairing him with Josh Allen, or yes, Josh Hines Allen now, that's going to be really good for them. Here for the Raiders, I'm going to go ahead and actually have them take cornerback Will Johnson out of Michigan. I mentioned just a minute ago that I have him graded as a higher corner than Travis Hunter. And again, if the Giants didn't need that extra bit of offensive help as well, I'd probably have them take him instead of Hunter. But because the way I see it is Hunter is the number 2 corner in this class, Will Johnson's number 1, but Travis Hunter can play a little bit of offense too. So, and that's kind of what the Giants need. Then here for the Jets, I'm gonna go ahead and give them Mason Graham. I think him paired with Quinnen Williams makes a really, really good interior D line. He's another guy I kind of hope falls to my Panthers there at number 8, but, you know, not really expecting that to happen. So, given the situation here for the Panthers, I'm looking at a few different things here. Um, I'm looking at Michael Williams, Malachi Starks, and I'm going to be honest, I like James Pierce more than Nick Scorton. Nick Scorton, I think, is better at stopping the run, which, I mean, granted, the Panthers kind of need that anyways, but I don't think he's that great of a pass rusher. I almost said pass blocker. Pass rusher. So personally, I'd like the Panthers to get someone that can definitely do both. And I think James Pierce is better than Nick Scorton in that way. Michael Williams is really good too. I think really you couldn't go wrong with any four of these guys, or any of these four guys. I know that the Panthers are definitely wanting to rebuild their safety room, and maybe we'll have a little bit more of an idea of what that's going to look like after free agency, because maybe they do that in free agency instead of the draft. I personally think the Panthers should try to get some pass rush first. And as much as I like Malachi Starks, I think Michael Williams here's got to be the answer. So, number 9, we have the Saints here. They're in a pretty similar situation, if you ask me. They also need some pass rush help. I think Chase Young was a little disappointing this year. Cam Jordan really didn't do a whole lot this year. So you could definitely look at pass rush. Honestly, their offensive line definitely needs some help too. So I'm also keeping an eye on Kelvin Banks here. I think overall, honestly, I think Nick Scorton would be a good fit for the Saints because I know they really like edge rushers that are good at setting the edge as a run defender first and then being a pass rusher. And I think that's, like I mentioned just a minute ago, that's what Nick Scorton is. He's better at stopping the run, and then he can get the pass rush going. So I think that's a good fit. I'm going to go ahead and have the Saints take him. Then for the Bears, look, I'm going to be completely honest here. The Bears need to protect Caleb Williams. And I get it. A lot of Caleb Williams sacks this year came from him kind of running into sacks, holding the ball too long, issues like that. But at the same time, his offensive line still wasn't exactly great. I think getting a guy like Kelvin Banks would definitely help that offensive line. So going to go ahead and give them Kelvin Banks. 49ers on the clock, and this is a tough one. Because, I mean, looking at their team on paper, I don't necessarily see a lot of needs. But you look at how they were this year specifically, and you're like, okay, so getting a guy like Malachi Starks could be huge. They had such massive injuries to the running back room. Maybe Ashton Jeanty would be, kind of a sexy pick there. Especially with the unknown of Christian McCaffrey. Like, I know when you have a guy like Christian McCaffrey, you're like, they don't want to take another running back. All right, they're set. But it kind of seemed like even when McCaffrey was healthy for those few games this year, he wasn't. He didn't look like McCaffrey, you know? So I'm not going to have them take Gene T, but it's something you got to at least like entertain a little bit, in my opinion. I'm going to be honest. I absolutely love Malachi Starks. I think he's a guy that could realistically go top 10. He really could. And I know the Niners already have Hufanga. For some reason, I can't remember who their other safety is, but I mean, you can plug and play Malachi Starks. You know, you can put him in at nickel if you needed. I think it's just a great pick for the Niners. Dallas, this is a pretty easy pick. Ashton Jeanty, not gonna overthink it. For the Dolphins here, this is kind of a situation that for a few days there were pretty big like talks of Tyreek Hill not wanting to be there. I mean, he basically said that out front in an interview. There's been word since then that things have kind of calmed down a little bit and everything's fine now. I don't know what to believe there. I'm going to treat this as if they still have Tyreek Hill, so not going to go ahead and I'm not going to give them like Luther Burden or anything, but I'm going to be honest here. Something that really intrigues me is, so for those of you who watched the Dolphins games this year, they used Jonnu Smith a lot. And I mean a lot. So if they want to be implementing tight end that much more into their system, a guy like Colston Loveland would be an insane weapon for them. And I actually really like the idea of that. So I'm going to go and give them Colston Loveland here. I know a lot of Dolphins fans don't love that idea because tight end was one of their few bright spots. But why not make that spot even better? You know, it's a pretty similar situation to like the Raiders the year before, like because the year before they drafted Michael Mayer in, I think it was the second round, and then they went and drafted Brock Bowers, and look at how good he was. I think this could be a pretty similar situation. You know, Jonnu Smith was good the year before, but why not get another just absolute stud there, you know? So then we have the Colts here at number 14. I'm going to be honest. I'm really, really intrigued by the Colts adding a guy like Jalen Walker. I think he would instantly help that run defense and pass rush quite a bit. I just think that's an awesome fit. So I'm going to go and have them take Jalen Walker here out of Georgia. Then the Falcons are on the board. I mean, they've got to get some pass rush help. James Pierce is a really good fit there. So having them take James Pierce. Cardinals on the clock. Given how the board's falling here, I don't really know for sure what we do. I'm going to be honest. Them listing Siobhan Revel here, I don't really know a whole lot about him. I really don't. Honestly, I don't love their cornerback rankings in general. I mean, I like Denzel Burke quite a bit. Dorian Strong is really good. Call me an amateur, but I really don't know a lot about these other guys here at corner. That's something I'll still have to watch some more tape on first. But I don't really love those rankings. I think any other edges right here would probably be a bit of a reach. So, I mean, at this point, you probably have to go offense for the Cardinals, which I don't love for them, but something that kind of intrigues me, though, is taking Emeka Egbuka, pairing him up with his old teammate, Marvin Harrison. I don't know if I'd really take a wide receiver this early for the Cardinals, though. I really don't. Obviously, don't take tight end because Trey McBride's really good. You know what? Cardinals fans probably going to hate me for this, but I'm going to make that offensive line about as good as you can get it and get Will Campbell. Then we have the Bengals on the board, and man, they need a lot of defensive help. Again, this part in the draft, I don't love a lot of the defensive players. I will say I love the safeties. Like, there's actually multiple really good safeties available. Like, all three of these top three safeties are good. I really like Makuba as well. Rod Moore is solid. Malachi Moore is really good too. Obviously, wouldn't take Malachi Moore or Rod Moore in the first round, but, you know. But I don't know that safety's the best spot to go for them this early. Yeah, I don't know. I really need to learn more about these corners. Cause I'll be honest, I don't know a lot about these corners in this class. I think given how their defense was, though, you might need to just kind of take a swing. So I'm going to go ahead and give them Siobhan Revel. Again, I don't know a lot about that. So I understand if Bengals fans hate that pick, but that's kind of just, it is what it is. They need defensive help. Like, straight up, they need defensive help. Seahawks on the board, and I'm going to be honest. I don't love their tight end situation. I know Noah Fant isn't awful, but I think you could honestly improve that spot. And I really like Tyler Warren out of Penn State. I think that'd be a really good upgrade for the Seahawks there. Now with the Broncos on the board, honestly, I'm kind of looking at getting Bo Nix even more help. I think Luther Burden would be honestly a great fit for Bo Nix here. So now we have the Bucks on the board. I do agree that they need a corner. It kind of seemed like most of their losses this year were because of their secondary, specifically their corners. So another situation here, guys. I'm sorry, I don't know the corners very well. Again, I know Denzel Burke is good, and I know Dorian Strong is good. I don't know a lot about these other guys. So, to a point, I kind of have to trust their board a little bit. So I'm going to go with Benjamin Morrison. Let me know what you guys think of these corners in the comments section too, by the way. I will be doing some more studying up on them so that next mock draft I'm a little bit better prepared, have better rankings on them. Steelers, I expect them to re-sign. Honestly, I'd expect them to re-sign both Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's a little bit too ambitious, but I think if not, I think they'd at least re-sign Justin Fields, if not Russell Wilson. Trying to think of what their offensive line looks like when healthy. I don't know that you'd take a guard this early. You could probably get some more wide receiver help, though. Because, I mean, it kind of seems like, other than George Pickens, the rest of their receivers, I feel like, are kind of more situational guys, and that's not exactly a great thing to have for an offense. So I'm going to go ahead and have them take Emeka Egbuka here. Now with the Rams on the board, I'm going to go ahead and give them... Let's see. Hold on, let me see who we've got available. Cam Williams would be solid there. Fix the O-line a little bit. I feel like their interior O-line is pretty solid. Although Tyler Booker and Donovan Jackson are both monsters. I think we're going to go ahead and actually have them take safety Nick Amenwari. I probably pronounced that wrong. I swear some of these names, like, even though you watch tape on them, you never know how to pronounce them. So, I'm going to go ahead and have them take him, though. I think he's definitely one of the better safeties in this class. Chargers on the board. I'm going to be honest. I think they need some more wide receiver help because Quentin Johnston drops way too many passes. Josh Palmer really hasn't gotten super involved. And I know they have Lad McConkey, but he's really like their only like super consistent receiver. And I think it'd be nice to get them some more consistent help. And I'm going to be honest, there's a few really good receivers I like here. Trey Harris is a monster. I love Isaiah Bond. Jalen Royals, I believe, was projected to be, I think, a first rounder, actually, before his injury. Granted, I wouldn't take him quite this high. Tez Johnson's really good. Kyron Lacey was good, before all of the, illegal stuff happened. I'm sure you guys have heard about that. Honestly, I think Trey Harris would be a really good fit in the Chargers system. So I'll give them Trey Harris. Packers on the board. And I'm going to go ahead and actually give them... I'm going to go ahead and give them Derek Harmon from Oregon. Now, Texans here. Be honest, the Texans O-line was not very good this year. And honestly, on the interior, I think Tyler Booker from Alabama would do wonders for that O-line. So I'm going to give them Tyler Booker. Commanders on the board now. And I think we go ahead and give them... I'm going to be honest. I really like Jahdae Barron for them. I think that's a really good fit for that defense. Ravens on the board. I do agree they also need, offensive tackle. I think we go Cam Williams here. Vikings now. Okay. That's hilarious. It says their team needs are QB. Guys, they're bringing back Sam Darnold. And even if they don't, they've got JJ McCarthy. They don't need a QB. So that's kind of laughable. So I also don't think they really need a running back either. So yeah, I don't love those. I'm going to be honest. I think Xavier Watts from Notre Dame would be good for them. Then we got the Bills. I think we give them. Let's see. I'm not sure who to give the Bills. Maybe a little bit more O-line help. Or no, we could take Trey Amos here from Ole Miss. Get some corner help. Because really the Bills are one of those teams that really don't have a lot of holes at all. See, I'm going to go ahead and go Trey Amos. Eagles on the clock now. They also don't have a lot of holes. I will say, the constant Dallas Goedert injuries are concerning. So you could look at tight end potentially. I don't know if I really love Harold Fannin right there, though. Mason Taylor's solid. Shamar Stewart. Dude, I don't know. I don't know who to give the Eagles right now. I mean, their entire O-line is really good too. Maybe potentially look at another wide receiver because Jahan Dotson isn't phenomenal. I was saying, guys, I love Isaiah Bond. I think he's nasty. And honestly, I could see them I could see Isaiah Bond giving the Eagles kind of what Jameson Williams gives the Lions. So yeah, I'm gonna go Isaiah Bond here. Chiefs on the board. I'm gonna be honest. I don't particularly love their offensive line. Well, parts of the O line. Particularly, who the heck is the right tackle that always holds? I swear he gets like 15 holding penalties every year. Is it Jawan Williams or something like? Yeah, I can't remember his name. Anyways, I think he needs to be replaced, and I think Josh Simmons would be a good replacement there. So we'll go Josh Simmons there. For the Lions, I'm going to go ahead and go. They're another team that really doesn't need a whole lot of help. They're pretty complete. I think I'm going to go ahead and give them Shamar Stewart, though. Get some more edge help. Especially since who was the edge rusher they traded for at the deadline? I can't think of his name for some reason. Anyways, he's getting a little bit older. Obviously, you got Aiden Hutchinson coming back from injury. He's probably going to be fine next year, but it doesn't help, or it doesn't hurt to have some more, pass rush help. So the Browns back on the clock, and see, I believe earlier I gave them Shedeur Sanders, right? Yeah, so I gave them Shedeur Sanders. I think they. I'm going to be honest. I think they could use a very strong offensive overhaul. And I know based on their rankings, a lot of people are going to consider this a really big reach. But I think Cam Skattebo is going to be one of the highest drafted running backs this year. So I'm going to give them Cam Skattebo. I think it's going to help their run game quite a bit. For the Giants, since they weren't able to take a quarterback in the first round, I'm going to go ahead and give them Jalen Milroe from Alabama. Titans now. Let's see. I know along their D-line, they've got Jeffrey Simmons and Tavondre Sweat, but it seemed like still at points this year, they were just getting gashed, and I don't know if that's an effort thing, a scheme thing. I don't know, because Tavondre Sweat was, for at least most of the year, a really solid defensive tackle. And we know what Jeffrey Simmons is capable of. But, I mean, you could always get better at stopping the run. And I think that was kind of one of their bigger issues. So I'm going to go ahead and give them Tyleik Williams. Jags on the clock now. We'll go ahead and give Trevor Lawrence some protection here with Jonas of it. Not even going to try to pronounce that last name. Anyways, offensive tackle out of Arizona. Patriots on the clock. We gave them Tet McMillan in the first round. I think they're another team that we could see go through a pretty big offensive overhaul. Call me crazy here, but I'm going to go ahead and give them Omarion Hampton, running back out of North Carolina. Jets on the board now. I think they're another team that could look at a quarterback here in the situation. I'm going to go ahead and give them... Quinn Ewers. He's definitely going to need some time before starting. He's not going to be start ready right off the bat. But it does sound like Aaron Rodgers is likely going to return for another season. So he'll have, a year, potentially two, before needing to play. Then the Raiders are up. I'm going to go ahead and give them Walter Nolan from Ole Miss. Get some run defense help. Saints are up now. I believe I gave them an edge rusher first, right? Yeah, I gave them Nick Scorton, so they could definitely improve the O-line now. Go ahead and give them offensive guard Wyatt Millum from West Virginia. Bears with back-to-back picks. Honestly, I think we look at giving Caleb Williams even more help. I think we look at tight end Harold Fannin. And then, like I said before, guys, Donovan Jackson is an absolute beast for an offensive lineman. I think this would be a steal for the Bears. So then the Niners here at 43. Who did I give them earlier? I believe Malachi Starks? Yeah. Yeah, Malachi Starks earlier. I'm going to go ahead and give them... I'm going to give them Landon Jackson this time. Cowboys up now. I'm going to give them... I can never remember if it's Dion or Dion Walker, but I'm going to give them him. Shore up that interior D-line a little bit. Colts on the clock now. Let's see. I'm not exactly sure who to give them. I'm going to give them Kenneth Grant. They could also use some run-stopping help. I think that's going to help quite a bit. Falcons, I believe we gave them James Pierce earlier. Yeah, on the edge. I think Jihad Campbell would also be an amazing addition for them. Cardinals up now. I believe we gave them an offensive lineman. Yeah, we gave them Will Campbell. So here I'm going to go ahead and give them Princely Uman. I can't pronounce some of these last names, guys. This is crazy. But yeah, we got the Dolphins here at 48. Gave them a tight end earlier. I'm going to go ahead and give them... You know, I'm going to give them Barrett Carter. I think that'd be a really solid fit. Bengals. I'm going to give them JT Tuimalo for the other edge because, I mean, obviously they've got Trey Hendrickson. I don't know why I couldn't remember his name at first. They've got Trey Hendrickson, but definitely could use some pass rush help. Seahawks on the board now. Gave them a tight end earlier. We could potentially see them trade DK Metcalf this offseason. I've seen a lot of noise about that. I don't know how true that is. But I'm going to go ahead and give them edge Kyle Kennard out of South Carolina. And then the Bucks are on the board now. And I'm going to go ahead and give them... You know, I'm going to go ahead and give them Tez Johnson from Oregon. I think he's a really, really good wide receiver. Steelers on the clock now. I'm going to give them cornerback Maxwell Hairston. Panthers on the board now. I'm going to be honest, I really like Jack Sawyer from Ohio State. He had a really nice play against Texas the other night. It was like a strip sack, ran it back for like an 83-yard touchdown. Really impressive play. I think he's going to be a really good edge rusher in the NFL. Broncos up now. I'm going to go ahead and give them running back Caleb Johnson. I know they've got several, like, solid running backs, but I don't really see anyone there that's, like, a clear number one. I think Caleb Johnson could probably come in and be that clear number one. Packers up now. Who did I give them? I gave them Derek Harmon earlier, defensive tackle. So I'm going to go ahead and give them... I don't frickin' know. Some of these teams, man, like, given how the board's falling, I don't know who to give them. Dude, I have no idea. You think it's too early to give them a running back to have behind Josh Jacobs? They don't need a tight end. They don't really need a safety. Maybe we go offensive guard, Tate Ratledge. But they've got a good O line though. Or maybe we double up on defensive tackle and go TJ Sanders. I don't know, guys. I know Packers fans aren't gonna like this pick, so I'm sorry, guys. I'm gonna go TJ Sanders. I don't really know who else to pick right there. Chargers on the board now. Who did we give them? I know it was a receiver. Uh, Trey Harris. Trey Harris. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and give them. I'm gonna give them Andrew Makuba. I know they have Derwin James, but pairing Andrew Makuba in with him is going to be really, really nice. Texans on the board at 57. I think we went offensive guard earlier, if I'm not mistaken. I think we go tackle now. Yeah, we gave them Tyler Booker. I think now we go Emory Jones. Then Commanders on the board now. Go ahead and give them some wide receiver help in Elic Aomanor. Again, probably slaughtered the name, but Ravens on the board now. I think we start looking at guys like I'm gonna give them Denzel Burke. I was mentioning earlier I really like Denzel Burke. Gonna go ahead and give him to the Ravens. So Bills on the clock. I think I gave them a corner earlier, didn't I? Yeah, I gave them Trey Amos. So I don't think we want to double up there. Maybe we look at... I think we look at some O-line, actually. Maybe not, like, right away starters, but having stronger depth and, future guys. Like, O-line is so important for a good offense. So I'm going to go with Tate Ratledge, and then I'm going to go with Ariante Ursary. I know back-to-back offensive linemen, but I think that's going to help quite a bit for the future. Eagles on the board now. Let's see, I think we went wide receiver earlier. I mentioned earlier that Dallas Goedert can't really stay healthy, so I'm going to go ahead and go with Mason Taylor. And with the Chiefs on the board now, I'm going to go ahead and give them Jalen Royals from Utah State. And lastly, we've got the Lions. And I think we go with a backup quarterback for Jared Goff. And go Jackson Dart. Because again, the Lions are another one of those teams. It's like, you're not going to be drafting any right away starters here. So you may as well start looking for like guys for the future. So I know this one was kind of long and drawn out. I know there's a lot of picks that you guys aren't going to like. There's a lot of picks I didn't like myself. So I know not my best mock draft. We'll study up on some film and hopefully make the next one better. But anyways, guys, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Later.